Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our mindfulness session this evening. I'd like to introduce Lisa Benson, who is our creative writing session leader today. And she will be talking to us and leading us in an interactive discussion. And I just would like to say a few words about Lisa, that she has written, she likes to raise awareness on migraine. She has written over 100 articles for migraine.com and has spoken at Retreat Migraine and has done Headache on the Hill. She is very into awareness of migraine. So welcome, Lisa, and the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Kelly. And Kelly joined my last creative writing workshop from the hospital.
From the hospital.
So I love her dedication. So I asked Kelly not to spotlight me because whether you want to screen share or not is totally up to you. And I understand if you're not having a great day that you don't want to do that. That's totally fine. But what I would like to do is have this be a little bit more like a roundtable discussion rather than like a class that I'm like a teacher or something. And before I get started, I just want to thank everyone for coming and for taking time for self-care. I feel like, I don't know about you all, but sometimes I feel like I have to move mountains just to make time for myself. And that's irregardless of your life situation, which everyone is in a different, situation, but it just can be very hard. And it's really important to just show up, try new things, take time for yourself. And I just wanted to thank everyone for coming. And also you should thank yourselves for taking that time. But so as Kelly said, I've written a bunch for migraine, about migraine. And I feel like sometimes I don't know about everyone's experience with migraine, and maybe we could talk about that a little bit, but for me, it can be really hard to describe to people outside of our community. And even to my own self, I know that for years I was undiagnosed, and partially that was because whenever a doctor would ask me about my quote headaches, I couldn't really remember what they felt like or how often I had them. I just know I didn't like them and they should go away. And the purpose of this isn't necessarily to describe our specific symptoms in any kind of medical way, but more to just get in tune with ourselves and how we feel maybe in this moment or in this time of our life. I also just want to give a shout out to a couple people I know. Lynn, I see, is on, and she was an amazing teammate on Headache on the Hill this year. So thanks for joining. And Diana, of course, I know you, Diane, and there's a bunch of other people on that I have seen your names or faces. So, but the first thing I wanted to do was, and you can unmute yourself. You don't have to share your screen again. I want everyone to just feel comfortable. If you're in a little bit of a migraine bubble and you just want to like chill out and listen, that's fine too. But for anyone who wants to answer, I have a question I'd like us all to go around. And it might seem a little strange or odd at the beginning, but I am going somewhere with this. So if you were any animal, like what animal would you identify with most and why? And not to put you on the spot, Kelly, but since you're the wonderful volunteer, maybe you could start.
Okay, it's just a couple of things ran into my mind real quick. And I'm obviously thinking of an animal that moves quickly. Because it ran into my mind. An animal that is, it sounds funny, but, and I don't know why it just popped into my head, a Great Dane. Okay. Because they can be very cuddly, they're very protective. Mm-hmm. They certainly speak their mind, they bark, and they're really very caring, and they're large, they like to hug.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I want one now.
Yeah, we have one that lives next door. So
I know, Lynn, you're nodding. I know you're a dog lover too. So she is the cutest dog. So I don't want to call names because I sorry I put you on the spot, Kelly. I need
that's okay.
start, but I don't want to put any of our lovely participants coming for the
No
first
problem.
spot. So feel free to unmute yourself and just start talking.
Well, hi, my name's Elena. And at first I thought of a dog because I love dogs. But then I was thinking a sloth, mainly because I would like to be like a sloth. They look so relaxed and at peace. So, and they take their time, I think, to enjoy life. So that's why I would pick a sloth.
I love it. I only know the word sloth from like the English adaptation of that word, and now after this I'll have to look up a video of a sloth, but I like your description. Also, if you are in sort of a quiet zone and you just want to type it into the chat, I'd love to read people's answers, but I see Tom, you've unmuted.
I'll just say quickly, I go to the Allentown Fair every year up in Allentown, PA in September, and I love to go where they have all the animals in pens, where they have the cows and everything. And I love the lamb because the lambs are so gentle and they have that curly fur, and they're always smiles on their faces. They always have like a smile on their face, and they're gentle. And I'm kind of gentle. I don't really yell at anybody. I don't think I have any enemies. So a lamb, because I know they have to get shorn and everything to make coats, and they have to become beef, but they're just sweet animals. Thank you.
Very sweet. Thank you, Tom. I also really like goats whenever I go to a farm. Is it Deanie? Deanie. I know I've seen your name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether a bird qualifies as an animal, but I'd like to be a bird so I could fly anywhere and look down on anything or anyone and just go wherever I wanted to go by flying, just so I could just cover a lot of territory and see a lot of things. That's where I would like to be.
Would you go, do you think that migration would be a big journey as well?
Oh, I haven't thought that far. Just maybe.
I see before the next person talks, I wanted to say Jamie S says a dog. They are better than humans, unconditional love. I do not disagree. Although I do like you all as people. Kimberly also said a bird, and she associates it too as a free, like with a free spirit. And then Katie said a cat, sleep comfortably and just love everyone. And Katie, a cat is mine, but I also am a cat lover. And one of my cats sleeps on my pillow every night, and we literally have like a love affair. It's almost pathetic, but anyway, so I think Lynn,
I was just going to say, I was thinking a bird too. I think birds, if you love to travel, you can pick your own weather. If it gets cold, you just fly to somewhere warm. And if you had a migraine or a panic attack or whatever, you wouldn't have to explain yourself to the room who would judge you and wonder if you were telling the truth or just didn't want to be with them anymore. You could just fly away.
That's right.
Simple.
Just go.
Just go.
The only problem with the bird thing is you have to be the early bird to catch the worm, right? And a lot of us don't want to have to be the early bird.
Worms.
I'm
guess
thinking
like-
I'm thinking a little differently. Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, Jim. Okay.
I'm thinking of a dolphin.
And could you tell me more?
A dolphin is a very friendly and sociable creature that generally is loved by most, but in a situation where they have to be in an adverse situation with the people around them, or not people, but creatures around them,
Mhm.
that they can adequately defend themselves. And they are also very intelligent animals. Sometimes I think more intelligent than we are. And they have a language.
I've heard that. What about the water element?
It's much more consistent than above land.
There's a few
And they can easily go, or they have a broader range that they can go
yeah,
without assistance,
yeah.
both up and down and across and migration.
I'm going to read a few comments. So there's been a little talk about the beauty of Costa Rica and how they have sloths. So I did not know that. Jamie mentions pink flamingo, which they're such beautiful animals. I could see why. I want to give it about 2 more minutes, and then we should get writing, just to be conscious of time. So Diane, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I just, for some reason, elephant came to my mind, and I didn't think I had to have a reason, but after listening to everybody, they have anyway, elephants look like they have such a good time. They have so much fun with their trunks and their babies and the water and the mud. And I might be wrong about this one, but I think they mate for life. I don't know.
Oh, we
But-
can just say they do.
Yeah, and my relationship history is not anything like that. So, that's it.
I like that. Did anyone else want to chime in?
Just to mention, dolphins also don't have migraines that anybody's discovered.
Well, that's a plus.
Yes.
I'll go. I don't remember the question. So what I remember you saying is, what animal do we relate to, not necessarily what we want to be. And I
Yeah.
didn't have anything come into my mind right away, but then I had a mole come into my head. And I think it's just because they're underground and it's dark and they're away from noise and away from smells and can kind of just do their thing without as many triggers. I'm sure there's plenty of triggers down there too, but it just seems kind of more manageable.
Sounds cozy. Donna says, I'd be a Bengal tiger, strong, powerful, wild, and sleep a lot. That sounds awesome. I like sleep. Who else wants to go? Okay, so I'm gonna give our writing task, which is to take the animal that you mentioned or that you thought of and write how you're feeling, but as if you are in the body of that animal. So it could be how you're feeling right now. It could be how you've been feeling overall this year. It could be that now that I've mentioned this, that a different animal comes to mind. If this doesn't resonate with you, just write something else. We're going to do free writing for about 10 minutes. So put yourself on mute and take any kind of device or paper and pencil and just go with it and see what comes out. I'll call you all back in about 10 minutes.
Seems to have fun.
And just a reminder to please mute.
Mm.
I'm going to wrap this up in about 1 minute so that we have a little time to share. Okay, if I can bring everyone back. I know you all might not be finished. So please, if you feel like you have more to write, please take the time for yourself after this or whenever. But I'm just curious how the exercise went for people. You don't have to read what you wrote unless you want to, but I'd love to hear anything you realized or anything that came to mind. I can start. So I was a cat, as I mentioned, and I mean, I have 2 house cats, but in my description, I guess I turned into like a wild, ragged outdoor cat or feral cat who had kittens to fend for. So though I felt tired and worn out, I had to go hunt to take care of the little kittens, which is kind of the stage of life I'm at right now. I have a little kid, you know, a girl, a little human kitten of my own, and sometimes I just have to push through. So that's kind of the metaphor that emerged for me.
I will. I stuck with my Great Dane. And it was just kind of weird because I'm a very small person and the dog, Great Dane is, just as big as I am. But the fact that they're very forceful, I feel forceful at times. Like I feel like I have fire in my eyes, but I'm just as passionate and compassionate and feeling as well. That I give love as much as I hope I receive love. And the cuddling and the optimism are important. I love my playtime, my sleep time, and my meal time. Dogs all love their famous, favorite times of the day.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always ready to play.
I like the part about the forcefulness because I feel like that can be taken as a negative, but I feel like our own self-care, that's a very positive quality to channel. Did anyone else want to share?
I'll go. So I was the mole, and it was interesting. I mean, I think it really reflected a lot of what I am feeling now, that like, yeah, it's nice to be kind of removed from a lot of triggers, but it's also really isolating. And it made me appreciate that I'm not that isolated. Like I get to be out in the sun and the wind and see birds and see, lots of things that inspire me. And I'm not just, tunneling through dirt. And that, that might be, it might sound nice when you're overstimulated, but if that was the only, place that I could be, I would really be depressed.
Do you think it brought a little bit of a sense of gratitude then for the times that you don't have to be isolated?
Yeah, and also, pushing me to not retreat.
Yeah.
Too. That, yeah, it's nice to not have the triggers, but it's very limiting.
And it's boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
I thought a lot of what I was saying.
Oh, Jim, you cut off. Can
is
other
that they,
people?
what?
You cut off. Could you start again?
I said the thing that I like about my choice is the fact that they always seem to play well with others, have a total sense of freedom,
Mhm.
tend not to be aggressive between themselves. Family is very important. They live well within their environment without negatively affecting it.
Mhm.
Um, and they seem to just have a good time throughout life
Yeah,
and,
that's nice.
and have very little ailments or predators on them other than perhaps a few, including humans.
Right.
And they're in a constant nice environment and protected from the stuff that is outside of that
Hmm.
and all the stuff that's going on.
That sounds lovely. Thank you, Jen. Diane?
Um, so an elephant. I am so happy. I don't have the worries and negative thoughts like humans. In fact, I don't have any thoughts. I just am. I live in the moment, every moment. Um, and then I wrote something about my mate. We get along so well because we don't talk to each other, and we are inseparable and we never fight. And feel joy when we're splashing our babies with water.
Oh, I love that. Thank
But
you.
animals don't think, so they have it a lot easier than we do.
Yeah.
Mm, I disagree with that. I think many animals do think.
Well, I guess this isn't a discussion so much as to the science of it as more as to what we're getting out of the
Right.
exercise. So both, I think, Jim, your viewpoint and Diane's viewpoint are both totally valid in the exercise. I don't know the answer, but yeah.
I can go with the not thinking. Works for me.
My family recently watched Finding Dory, and she's the fish that has no memory. She's memory loss. Like, not that I'm wishing for that necessarily, but some days it feels like it could be fun to just not
Mhm.
worry about the bigger picture of things. We only have a minute left. I want to be conscious of everyone's time. And I didn't want to forget to mention that we have a fun project we're doing at Miles for Migraine called Dear Migraine. And it's a book project. And Kelly, if you can put the link in the chat, you can submit anything that you wrote tonight if you'd like. Or we have a bunch of prompts on our website of different topics. If you'd like to submit something to hopefully be in the book. We're also accepting art. So you can go read about it on our website. You can always email me. I'll put my email in the chat if you have any questions. Right now, we don't have a specific deadline. So, we'll keep the community updated on any other information. But as we finish up, did anyone else have anything they wanted to share?
Actually, I did. It was a quote that I recently came across on a TV show.
Mhm.
Uh, except I'm having problem displaying it so I can read it properly. Just 10 seconds here.
No
I don't
problem.
have it. Just a second here. Yeah, and that quote relates, I think, to migraines and how we handle it, as well as other adversities. And that quote is, when we're hurting, is it just easier to keep hurting than to heal?
Hmm.
I'll
What do you
repeat
think?
that. When we're hurting, is it just easier to keep hurting than to heal?
Sometimes it is easier to keep hurting.
Yeah, and I thought that was sort of a deep thought quote as far as we handle some of our adversities. And it just
Oh,
struck me.
yeah, that's very powerful.
It's actually from a TV show at the end of it.
Really.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, everyday common media has profound things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Shirley just put in the chat the link to the project,
Yeah.
and then she mentioned that all the info will also go out in the Miles for Migraine newsletter in late March.
Shirley, you beat me to it. I couldn't find it for a second. Thank you. I was having to look back in Helen's email. Don't tell her.
Well, last chance for anyone who wanted to share anything.
I think we'd all make wonderful.
Yeah, Shirley, did you want to share something? Oh, no, you're just waving. Okay.
I think we'd make a wonderful zoo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I love the puppet dog and the real dog that are coming on screen right now.
Yes.
Love it. Also, Donna, you've been quiet, but your expressions of support and agreement have been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You've been seen.
Yes. Thank you, Donna.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thanks everyone. I think it's May sometime we're doing this again, and I think next time is it meditation? That's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's every other Thursday.
Yeah.
So it'll be in 2 weeks.
So thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, everybody. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.